Half the fun of traveling is the experience of meeting new people. That said, all of us want to feel welcome when visiting a foreign country. One of the most common questions asked is, "Where are you from?" And, "How do you like it here?" Most of the time people's eyes light up when you say you are from the United States. Some people like to practice their English with you, while others ask for travel tips about the best places to visit in the States. Most of all, they are very curious about the American way of life. According to a variety of sources, including a new study by the Pew Research Center, we have rounded up a list of 10 countries that love Americans. We have not included all countries in these studies, but have chosen destinations by their favorability factor towards American visitors. So are you excited for this list? But before starting the video, I want to request you, we put our best efforts to create our every single video, so please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's start. Number 10, Poland. In Poland, according to the Pew Research Center, 73% of the Polish people interviewed have a favorable view of Americans. Well, in America also, estimated 8.81 million self-identified Polish Americans, representing about 2.67% of the U.S. population, according to the 2021 American Community Survey conducted by the U.S. Census Bureau. In Warsaw, you will find American-style hot dogs and hamburgers. American TV and Hollywood movies are watched avidly. Poland has been one of the most pro-Americanized countries in Europe for decades, as they look to the United States as their benefactor and ally, stemming from the United States being an early sponsor of their independence in 1918. A more recent shared success was America's support for the Solidarity movement. In addition, there is a strong Polish-American community in the United States, with many people that still have family living in Poland. Explore Krakow, the gem of Central Europe. Visit Krakow's medieval square, the second largest in Europe, or the preserved remains of the infamous Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camps, then take in the colorful cities of Wrocław and Torun before heading to the bustling seaside town of Gdansk. Number 9, Italy. According to the Pew Research Center, 63% of Italians interviewed have a positive view of Americans. In general, Italians respect Americans and always welcome them as friends. They adore the curiosity of American tourists in regard to experiencing Italian culture, and they love the way that Americans enjoy their food. Another strong connection is historical. They are grateful to the United States for saving the country from total chaos at the end of World War II. Americans are also in love with the Italian culture, and that should be no surprise as there are approximately 17 million people of Italian ancestry living in the United States. How many Americans are living in Italy? There are 15,658 Americans currently living in Italy today. While most reside in bigger cities like Milan and Rome, there are plenty of picturesque Italian towns to consider, depending on your preferences. Americans have had a love affair with Italy, from the gorgeous hillside city of Tuscany to the sun-spangled coastline of Amalfi, Italy enchants. Experience the cradle of the Renaissance in Florence, Siena, and Pisa, and the splendor of Rome. Explore the sun-drenched coastline of Amalfi visiting Sorrento, Capri, Naples, and Positano, then get a taste of the ancient world by walking through the ruins of Pompeii. Number 8, Vietnam. There is strong support for American tourists in Vietnam, with 84% of those interviewed by Pew Research Center positively inclined toward Americans. The Vietnamese give visiting Americans such a warm welcome that many feel very comfortable, almost at home when visiting this country. There is a great appreciation in South Vietnam for America since they tried to help establish a democracy. In the North, there is no resentment after all. The U.S. was just one brief invasion the country has experienced over thousands of years. The Chinese, Japanese and French, among others, stayed much longer and destroyed as much as they contributed to local culture. In a nutshell, the Vietnamese are incredibly forgiving and welcoming. There are hundreds or possibly thousands of Americans living in Vietnam as part of the estimated 105,000 total expats in the country. Experience the vibrant cities of Saigon and Hanoi, and the rich heritage of the Mekong Delta. Unwind in the beauty of the Perfume River and watch the sunset in Ha Long Bay. Explore quaint fishing villages that look as though they are lost in time as the jungle-covered mountains surround them. Don't miss shopping for arts and crafts in one of Vietnam's many colorful markets. It is fun, lively, and an unforgettable way to meet the locals. Number 7. Japan. 58% of Japanese agree that they like Americans. As a matter of fact, most Japanese love Americans and American culture and are excited to meet travelers from America. In general, especially young people, feel that there is more freedom in America than in Japan. They are curious about what you are doing, where you are from, and what sort of things you like to do. Many young people are absorbed in American culture, music, fashion, food, and even baseball. They are kind and want to know about you and about your family. The Japanese love to go out to an izakaya, or local bar. That is a great way to strike up an interesting conversation. As of December 2023, there were 63,408 American citizens registered as foreign residents of Japan, forming 2% of the total population of registered aliens, according to statistics from Japan's Ministry of Justice. The land of the rising sun is a haven of magnificent wonders. From the skyscrapers of Tokyo to the serenity of Zen gardens, Japan is a place where modern minimalism meets ancient teak temples. Take a bullet train to Osaka to explore the Dotonbori Canal, a popular food, shopping, and entertainment area, then head to Nara, where many 8th century temples and shrines are located. Number 6. Philippines. In general, the people in the Philippines love Americans, with 78% having a favorable view according to the Pew Research Center study. Filipinos are the most Americanized people in Asia. Part of the close bond with the U.S. is the result of a treaty signed back in 1898 called the Treaty of Paris. Spain ceded the Philippines to the U.S. for $20 million, replete with a mock war between Spain and the U.S. to show that the U.S. won. That is history, but be assured, Americans are welcome here. Filipinos greet visitors by saying "feel at home" to ensure that visitors enjoy their stay. Hospitality is a trademark of Filipinos. The most recent BSD took place in January 2023 when senior Philippine and U.S. foreign affairs and defense officials convened in Manila. More than 4 million Filipino Americans live in the United States, and almost 300,000 U.S. citizens reside in the Philippines, including a large number of U.S. military veterans. The city of Vigan dates back to the Spanish colonial era and is a World UNESCO Heritage Site that is full of Asian European architecture with winding cobblestone streets lined with shops and restaurants. The Chocolate Hills look like something that Willy Wonka would have dreamed up and is just one of the natural wonders found in the Philippines. Number 5. United Kingdom. The UK is an easy place for Americans to travel, and we are always welcomed. It is easy to have fun and light-hearted conversations with people from the UK, especially in pubs. The Brits enjoy American enthusiasm for how old some of their palaces are. Over recent years, many people from the US have moved to England and many people from the UK have moved across the pond. There is an exceptional bond between the two countries, including similar values, culture, and common language, making this one of the friendliest and easy countries to visit. There were approximately 166,000 American nationals residing in the United Kingdom in 2021, an increase from the 131,000 American nationals residing in the United Kingdom in 2008. There is just so much to see: castles, historic gardens, art, architecture, food, fashion, and tea with clotted cream and scones. The United Kingdom offers an experience of a lifetime. Ireland's beauty has inspired artists, writers, and visitors for centuries with its magical landscape and friendly people. Number 4. Canada. Our neighbors to the north are famous for their friendliness and hospitality. America shares a common border with Canada, which is one of the longest in the world. Canada is more than just our neighbor, it is more like a beloved relation, since many Americans are also of Canadian descent, and some of us have family living there. It is an easy country to visit as we share similar values, and Canadians will often switch to speaking English when they see we are struggling with French. A few words in French, out of respect to the culture, will go far. There are over 1 million Americans living in Canada, and over 1 million Canadians living in the U.S., with many millions more who are descendants of Canadian immigrants to the U.S. New England alone is 20 to 25% of Canadian descent. Canada's mix of vibrant colorful cities like Quebec, Montreal, and Toronto enchant and beguile with their food, friendliness, shops, museums, and architecture. The great outdoors, that is Canada, is splendid, from the majesty of the Canadian Rockies to the serene beauty of Banff and the ecological wonders and wilderness of Canada's national parks. There is something for everyone to experience while enjoying the company of our friendly neighbors to the north. Number 3, Brazil. According to the Pew Research Center, 72% of Brazilians look at Americans as favorable. Brazil is known for its gregarious and energetic population. It is one of the biggest countries in the world that has very few American tourists. Even though Portuguese is the main language and English is not widely spoken outside of Rio or São Paulo, Brazilians will find a way to communicate. In 2020, the Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs estimated the number of Brazilian Americans to be 1,775,000, 0.53% of the U.S. population at the time. However, the 2019 United States Census Bureau American Community Survey estimated that there were 499,272 Americans who would report Brazilian ancestry. There are also 86,418 Americans living in Brazil. There are more than 1,500 beaches, making Brazil a sun lover's paradise. Carnival in Brazil is just wow, with its outrageous costumes, street dancing, parades, and parties that carry on until dawn. And then there are the natural wonders that range from the amazing Amazon forest, a haven for biodiverse ecotourism, to the thundering Iguazu Falls that leaves visitors awestruck by its power. Number 2, Israel. In Israel, 81% of the people look favorably to Americans. Most Israelis believe that Americans are pro-Israel. Many consider Americans a bit naive when it comes to shopping because everything in the markets is negotiable. Israeli culture is heavily influenced by American culture, especially in the form of movies and TV. English is widely taught in school, so communication is fairly easy. Many Israelis feel that Israel is the 51st state. Always expect a warm welcome, but be prepared to bargain. Meanwhile, the State Department estimates that roughly 500,000 American citizens reside in Israel, a larger number than many other available calculations, likely because Israel's parameters for who qualifies as a full-time resident of the country are more stringent. The United States and Israel combined are home to an estimated 80% of the world's Jews. The new survey of Israelis, together with Pew Research Center's 2022 survey of U.S. Jews, can be used to compare the world's two largest Jewish populations. Israel offers a cultural and historical experience of biblical proportions. Tel Aviv is a modern, vibrant city that is so interesting to visit. The Old City of Jerusalem offers an epic number of attractions, from the Temple Mount and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre to the Western Wall and the Mount of Olives. No visit to Israel is complete without a visit to the Dead Sea and Masada, an ancient city located on an isolated cliff in the Judean desert. Number 1, Colombia. According to the Pew study, 51% of those interviewed in Colombia have a favorable outlook of Americans. Colombian culture is naturally friendly and family-orientated, and they love American visitors. After years of civil strife, tourism is now a top industry in the country, where they have taken extreme measures to make visitors feel welcome, and have even established an entire police division to protect tourists. Because of the strong relationship between Colombia and the U.S., all you need is a passport and a return ticket to enter the country. Many improvements in the tourism infrastructure have been made, like the new cable car network in Medellin that helps visitors get around this rambling old city with ease. There are now 60,000 United States citizens living in Colombia, many of whom are Colombian immigrants to the United States who chose to return to Colombia. Colombia is an amazing land of contrasts, with an interesting history and a rugged and dramatic terrain for outdoor adventures. Colombia is one of the most biodiverse countries in the world, with 51 national parks that range from coral reefs to deserts to rainforests. Cartagena is a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its walled city center and rustic Spanish colonial buildings. The Rosario Islands, off the coast, are one of the most important coral reefs in the Caribbean. So I hope you enjoyed this video. don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.